Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Non-Corporate Girls. We're back and excited to be here on this gloomy, dreary day in New York City.
I know. First of all, the weather has been trash. Okay,
It has
it
the
doesn't
remnants
help
of
with.
Ian.
Yeah, I know. It's just so unfortunate, but it definitely doesn't help like the mood for the week. It's like depressed.
Yeah, it's really, it makes you just want to like sleep. I've been like extra tired. My sleep
Extra
pattern is
tired.
off because of the weather.
Facts.
It's so crazy how like nature plays into our feelings and giving us the burst of energy and or not. Like, that's so interesting.
100%. I mean, we talk about seasonal depression all the time. It's a
Mm-hmm.
real thing, and I'm always like, oh, when winter's coming, especially living in New York, it's like you
Mm-hmm.
got to prepare yourself.
You
Make
do
sure
have
you
to
have
work.
a therapist on deck because it can
Yes.
get real.
Which I'm in the process of finding a new one, and let's see, I'm going through
Some consults.
yes, like I have one coming up that's scheduled. So let's see. It's a new, fairly new platform. I think it's called Valera.
I know
And
Valera.
oh, you do? And so I just
Mhm.
found out about it recently. Shout out to Twitter. Yo, Twitter
Shout
Twitter
out to
be
Twitter.
a resource for real. And
I
so I
love
was like,
Twitter.
let me go through. I really do. And I was like, let me go through the steps and whatever. So back on that journey again.
I'm praying for you because it's hard. And literally, like, I be helping people find therapists, and I literally got 2 people on deck, like, "Can you help me find a therapist?" And so, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a constant search, so I get it. Praying for
It
you.
is. Thanks. I'll keep you guys posted when I find my person.
Yes, in this next chapter in your life.
Yes, yes.
So this episode, we are at 109, and we're like flying through the season, but 109, and the title of this episode is God Did.
Ayanna, ever since I told her listen to that song, she had like everything great that happens. She's like, God did. And I'm like, he did. He's
I
doing.
feel like DJ Khaled at the awards recently where he said it like so many times in that one segment. I was like, God did.
Yes. And we are here for this is definitely by no means a spiritual or religious, well, it's spiritual but not religious. We're not putting anything out there to to force anybody into believing
Whatever
in God.
divine divinity you believe in, universal spirituality, whatever you believe in, this is what we're talking about. Whatever that higher power is, they have helped support you all and us throughout our
Hmm.
lives and what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. But for us, it's been God.
It's been God. And so, on a positive note, just jumping into that,
Hmm.
I feel like, we could not to be like God did, but God did. Just like, God has been such a good force in our family, especially as it comes to
Hmm.
like our I can't even speak elders. And
Hmm.
thinking about our positive note, I see that both of us have something dealing with family. So I can kick
Hmm.
us off. As you know, D, my mom is finally retired, and she is officially like moved out of New York City, which I never thought would happen.
Wow.
And
So
she
like the
has
apartment is empty, like it's all packed
it's
away, like
done.
furniture.
It's don't belong to us no more.
Oh my
Gone.
goodness.
It's so crazy, and
That
she's moved
is.
to another state, which I is also crazy because my mom came to this country and she's lived in New York City her whole life outside of the time she came from Panama. So like to go to
Hmm.
another place and like set up roots there, that's like a different experience for her. And then also
It
just to be
is.
retired, like she retired at 41 years, and I don't even know what it's like to be in a place for 41 years. You know what
Right.
I
Or
mean?
how many people, because I personally, I don't know many people who I've seen them through
Yeah.
retirement. So I think that's a blessing in itself. That's really, really cool. Like she deserves her time off to enjoy. It's like, what is she gonna do?
She does, and it's a positive note for me because I've been reflecting a lot on that. Like as we think about, we're all about legacy and trying to figure out like what are we creating for our lives and what does that look like. And it's been something that I've thought about because I never thought that this would be her next chapter until it became her next chapter. Like when you think about your
Hmm.
parents, like they work, they do the same thing. It is what it
Right.
is. But for her to like take that step. And that it was hard because my mom does not like change at all. And for her to
Yep.
like take that step, that intentional step to do this, I'm just like, I feel so proud for her. I feel proud that like,
Yes.
she's showing us something different. Like you don't have to work
Yes.
yourself to the ground. You get to, even though
Mhm.
different demographics, like they're lifers, stay at their job a long time. But the fact that she's like, okay, this is my time to move on. I'm
Right.
just so proud. I'm so proud of her.
It's
And
exciting.
it's a blessing. And I'm grateful that she's been able to do it because I know everyone doesn't get to set themselves up to live this next chapter. So that's my
Absolutely.
positive note. And I keep thinking about that because I'm like, okay, what am I building? What am I trying to, I'm trying to
Mhm.
get to retirement in half that time. So
Okay.
it's
And
just
even
like,
just it makes you like I can see that for myself too.
yes, exactly. So that's been
Mhm.
great. So let's talk about Ya Abuela.
Yes, we are. But shout out, I gotta give a shout out to Bedford because that is the address we use for our business. And that is what came immediately into my mind. We're gonna have to update our paperwork.
Oh, I did that already. Girl, come on. Come on.
But
Do that.
I know what I know you did that. I know
Yeah,
you did. But the fact is,
I
like, that
know.
was the address that we used, so it was very
For so
prominent
long,
for so
right?
long. Yes, and being that we're Brooklyn girls, and I don't know, I feel like your mom has something to do with our success as well.
I
Yeah.
know she does. Oh my God. It's like always, that was always the default.
Yes, we didn't think about it like that, but definitely so. And so, yeah, moving on to my grandma, that lady, oh my gosh, she is a ray of sunshine. She is
Love
great.
her. I love
She
her.
turned 28, aka 82. It was her 82nd birthday, but she tells everybody she's 28. And she acts 28 because she is that full of life.
Yeah, she's young at heart.
Yes, she really is. She is a trip. And so it was a very, very low key birthday. Her birthday was super raining, which, by the way, in our culture, that means tons of luck and blessings for it
Hmm.
to be raining on your birthday. But she just wanted to like enjoy a good meal at home and just be, with her daughter and her grandkids, aka my mom and me, because most of my cousins are out of state and all of that good stuff. But yeah, she had a good birthday, and it's just like each year is a blessing to celebrate her because not everyone has their grandparents around, and so I'm lucky that I still
Yeah.
have um her because my mom's dad he's ill with Alzheimer's,
Oh
so
no.
we don't get to enjoy him as much, but we do definitely have great memories. But my grandmother's still here, like rocking and rolling, and I told
She's
her
thriving.
she
Okay.
is. I told her that she's gonna live to 130 years old or more, and she was cracking up. She was like, "I don't want to live that long. That's crazy." She was like, "I'm not even gonna be able to walk," and we was just cracking up. Like she is a goofball. But yeah, I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna live that long, girl, because I see that for you."
Well,
But
I'm
shout out to
glad
the
that
Libras.
she, yes, and happy belated to your grandma because I'm really
Mhm.
happy to see that, she was able to celebrate another year around the sun.
Yes, I feel like it really came fast. I remember her birthday last year, like so clearly. I'm like, how did we get back to October again?
Didn't y'all throw a party for her last year? Or was that
No,
the year
last year we
before?
didn't. It was the year before,
Okay.
for her 80th.
Time is going. Can't keep
It
up.
is, it is. So that's my positive note.
I love that. I love that. And I love that it was family oriented, especially in these times, so that's good.
Mhm.
So, all right, jumping into a hustler spirit. I guess first we should kind of kick off right that it is Q4. We could kick off with that,
Mhm.
and so
Yeah.
a reminder for people to do all the do's. I always feel like when it comes to like Q4, people are like scrambling. They're like, "Oh my," do you feel that?
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. Like it's like when people forget like people's birthdays or anything that's an annual thing. Like this happens every year, guys. Like
Like
we
prepare.
haven't built a plan. Yeah, by now, like haven't you built the plan to do it better? I mean, I'll give you a little bit of grace because there are some things we can't plan for, and so then it'll
Right.
set up your Q4 accordingly. But where you
Right.
can, try to plan so that you don't plan to fail.
Exactly. And so when we think about planning, making sure that you're assessing your goals for this quarter, reviewing your finances, which is a huge thing, especially since a lot of us have student loans. And what does that look like? Making sure that you're on
Mhm.
top of those things. And then really reflecting, because something, I guess, a ritual, I guess, that we like to do is at the end of the year, really reflect on the year, on the pod and what
Mhm.
that looks like. But
Mhm.
just for yourself, right? Just reflecting
Yeah.
kind of what has the first 3 quarters been like for you, and what do you hope to like move forward with, right?
Like what goals you need to reassess, because I also think in not so much always creating new goals, but seeing
Yeah.
if the ones that you set forth are things that you're still even passionate about. Should you change your methodology? Because sometimes we be hitting our heads on a wall thinking this one
Mhm.
way is gonna make it work. And sometimes we just gotta change something minor and it could probably change the trajectory. And that's something that I take note in for myself of like we can't do things over and over the same way, trying to expect the same result. And in certain matters, I found myself dealing with situations that I felt like I would never be here again. And yet here I am. And I'm like trying to reflect on like, why did I get here again? How did I get here again? It's frustrating. Some of it is just like it's something I miss in the first go round. Like, it is,
Mhm.
and some things is just again, you don't have control over. But it is something that I do like think of in the back of my mind. Like it's something repeatedly, there's some type of pattern. Trying to see where I could do differently or better to not find myself there again.
It's funny you mentioned that too, because I had so on Monday, random, I ended up going to my friend's house, and it was crazy outside. Like it was
It was a
literally raining.
monsoon.
It was
Yeah.
it's like, why would I do this? Why would I do this? And I thought so hard about canceling, but I've been having September has been dragging me. And so I feel like I've been trying to do this thing that me and my therapist have been talking about, that when I don't want to do something, I try to lean more into it because there's probably a reason. So like, even though my old self would have been like, "Nah, I'm canceling. I'm not even doing this." There must have been a reason why I felt like I needed to go, and then I was happy I did go, because I wasn't able, like, I've been like working really long hours and things like that, and so I
Mhm.
haven't been taking any real breaks, and so that provided me a break. It was like, you get to go somewhere
Mhm.
else, get out your house, whatever. So
Yes.
anyway, I get to my friend's house and we start talking about our pattern of we kind of meet up quarterly. Every
Mhm.
quarter, for like, I've known her for a long time. Every quarter when we meet up, we have the same conversation about where we are, lack of
Mm.
where we are, what we want.
Mhm.
And it's just so interesting. And then her and I had to have a moment, but like, wait, we are so not in the same place we were 5 years ago, 3 years ago. So even though it
Mhm.
feels like the same conversation, there is
Right.
something that's different. So that made me think about what you said, because even though you feel like you may be in the same cycle, you have done things differently. And you know what I mean? It's still, there's a shift. There's something that happened, whether it's your growth, whether it's your
Mhm.
perception, whatever.
Yes,
Something has
yes.
changed.
It's that. It's the perception.
Yeah.
Cause bitch, I be wanting to give up. Okay.
Same, same. But there has been growth. There has.
Mhm. Yes.
So yeah, Q4, start doing that. But in reference to a hustler spirit, we like to share any like wins, accolades, or just kind of like amping ourselves up. And
Mhm.
this episode is all about us. And so
Mhm.
it's been 2 weeks since our rebrand. How are you feeling,
Yes.
D? Like, what have people
I'm
been saying?
I'm excited. I feel like um I'm pushing it out more so that people have something to say or even like recognize where we have transitioned and
Yeah.
we're trying to take ourselves, because one thing that a friend did point out to me that we're so much more than a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
um and from the inside looking, from the outside looking in, to some people they're probably just thinking that layer and just seeing like we're podcast first. And so
Mm-hmm.
I want people to recognize like that there's so much more that we offer and the community that we're trying to build. And so I'm really proud in that when you do visit our website and you do take a look at just like holistically everything that we're bringing to the table now, it's very clear of the direction we're headed in. And I feel like, even speaking of non-corporate girls and where we see ourselves and all of those things, it's even clear for me to express, because
Yeah.
when it's when your brain is foggy, it
Mhm.
translates, because it just felt like we knew what we wanted to do. But I feel like the best brands are the ones that can speak for itself without having to explain so much about it. And there's always tweaking that could be done, but I feel like we've done a great job in like getting to this place.
I do too. And it's funny because, we talk all the time about we've pivoted a lot since we started
Mhm.
the podcast. And
Right.
so it's always cool to see that like this specific pivot is like something that's all encompassing of our growth. And I think in
Mhm.
the past years, we've had our pivots, and it hasn't been on a large scale. Like it's
Mhm.
been more about like trying to like maintain the day to day, or how do we like take the podcast to this level, whatever. But
Yep.
I think when COVID happened and we saw our community really show up, and how we were able to kind of like, I don't know, share who we are better through just kind of digital and what we've been doing, and then be able to translate that into a story for our site. I think
Mhm.
it feels very different. I know I said that before, but it really does feel different. And to your point, I
Mhm.
think that the more we're able to like communicate that, and they get
Yes.
to go to the site and see what we're about, the more people will start to get it. At least that's the hope.
Yes, that is the hope. And I think we're going to get there. I think also what makes it really challenging is that when you're not offering like a product,
Mhm.
it's in something that's not so tangible, the translation gets very
Blurry.
confusing and blurry. And so, for the clearer we are, the clearer our audience is on things. And that was where we were not necessarily lacking, but that was the challenge for us. Like, trying to figure out how our skill set is transferable to the output that we really want to come from non-corporate girls. Like, what is it that we're gonna do or provide, and how we're gonna do that. So I feel like it's so much more clear now how we can accomplish that.
I agree. And then the fact that like, okay, God did, right? So the fact that we've
God
been
did.
able to kind of help with some PR support and kind of like get our messaging out there more is
Mhm.
definitely going to help us. And then
Yes.
also the goal really too is that a lot of people are not clear on yet, is that we really have a hub that we're trying to create. We're really
Mhm.
trying to bring in experts from the different pillars that we have. We have three: the 9 to 5, the 5 to 9, and where they connect, and really bring in
Mhm.
those experts to be on our hub and really help provide resources, tools, advice, quick videos, workshops, etc., for everyone who feels like they can resonate with any of those items in a more tangible way. And so that's what we're driving towards, especially because we consider ourselves experts as well in some of these things. So
Absolutely.
how do we bring that together? And I think that's like the vision. And so we're like
Mhm.
one step closer.
Yes, and because in the entrepreneurship like journey and realm, there's so many people that speak about like the burnout and all of the things. And so we're really trying to provide entrepreneurial wellness. Like,
Mhm.
there's a way to still be able to attain these things and not have to do all the things and take a step back, because I'm definitely not here for hustle culture. Like, I understand hard work, but I do feel like there needs to be a clear balance, and we don't have to drive ourselves to the ground to achieve it in whichever manner you want to go about it. Whether you want to be the entrepreneur fully, or you have a side hustle that you want to balance out with your 9 to 5, whichever way you go about it, there just needs to be a better way of doing so, where like your health still gets prioritized.
100%. So I'm excited.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see
Me
where we continue to
too.
go. And so, just as a quick shout out for anyone who's looking, we're always looking for collaborations,
Mhm.
partnerships, obviously featured guests, etc. So, for anyone who wants to work with non corporate girls, feel free to visit our website, www.noncorporategirls.com, and hit that contact us and send us a
Mhm.
note, because we're all about amplifying voices together. Collaboration is our biggest thing.
Yes, and the episode 2 was inspired by a friend that I lean toward, who has a very finite skill set of of public relations. And so the conversation was literally me venting. not even realizing what she does, because that was far from what I was thinking when I was venting. And
Mm.
just for her to like respond with like, girl, I got you, because I was just like venting, like, me and Ayanna a little bit frustrated, our resources, like we're hitting like a wall, we're feeling stuck. And so when everything just played out the way it did, I had to reflect back, because we were still thinking of a title of this episode, and I was like, literally, God did. Because
God
why did
did.
I could have vented to any other friend. I just vented. I just so happened to pick this friend. So it
At
was
that
just really cool
time, though, like, at that time, like,
at
it
that time. And I didn't know, or maybe just like the people in my circle are very aware of how I show up and how I am. But yeah, most folks can tell when I'm off. I don't know if I even try to be that obvious, or it just naturally exudes, because I am so much of a way. Not that I hide my emotions, but it's just like when I feel like defeated, it comes through in just like my response, or like how I just don't try to I don't know what it was, but she was so on it in recognizing. And I never want to make people worry, or like make them think like,
Mhm.
yo, what is happening with Delilah? Like, I'm very open with like, I need a break, I need a debrief. Even when Ayanna be like checking up on me, and I'd be like, yo, I hate when you ask me this question, especially when I don't have the response that I would like to have. But either way, I let y'all know that I'm okay. So it was just funny how all of this just like fell into place.
I
We're
was just
excited.
so it's always, but, it's always when you hit your wall, though, that, like, something happens, and it's like,
Hmm.
because that feeling stuck is a real thing, and I'm just blessed. We're
Yes,
grateful.
we
Um,
are.
Also, so quick shout out to her, and holla back to the community in general, because when your
Hmm.
friends know and your family know, they know, and that's always a good thing. Um,
Hmm.
but just also a quick reminder that, because I've had a lot of people reach out to me. First of all, everybody want to start a podcast. It's a thing, right? We know this. And so I have people who reach out to me, and they're like, "Yeah, I've thought about doing this. I want to do this." And I'm like, "Go to our website." We
Right.
actually have a really great checklist for anyone looking to start a podcast. All you have to do is go
Hmm.
to the hub, add in your email address, and you can actually download our checklist. It's free, and
Hmm.
we have some great resources there. We always try to help, so, like, don't feel like you got to start completely from scratch. We actually have something to help you. And for anyone
Hmm.
that's looking for any extra support, we do podcast consultations, and we are
Hmm.
also, I'm a shameless plug, but we are also certified minority women in business owners, and also DOE vendors. And so if there's anyone in an organization or school that's looking to, like, teach kids or anyone how to do a podcast, we are your girls. So please reach out
Hmm.
to us. We literally have curriculum created. Like, it's a
Yes.
turnkey situation.
Book us, because this is the way of the world going into media. And this is definitely a tool that adults and kids alike could find very useful.
Okay, tell them, Delilah. So, on that note, we are going to take a short break, and we will be right back.
So thank you for still sticking around. We're back. We're not so great news. I'm actually really I didn't see this coming, to be honest, because it's like you said what you said and now you're reneging. But Byron, what is going on? So if you guys have not heard the latest update in the student loan madness, it seems like President Biden has scaled back the eligibility on who qualifies for loan forgiveness, because it seemed like it's illegal in a sense. I don't know all the details and stipulations, but several lawsuits several lawsuits by different states have been filed against him. And now it seems that forgiveness by private equity loans will no longer qualify for relief. So I definitely suggest that you guys follow at debt free gonna be. That's where I get a lot of my information. Like, she's so on it, and she's my go-to for all updates. Everybody's situation is different. Different people apply for different loans, and depending on your job and what you do, that also changes the game for what you qualify and don't qualify. But yeah, that 10,000 is going to be seemingly harder to receive. And October 1st is where it started the application process to see what you would be getting. But definitely check at Debt Free Gonna Be on Instagram to find information, but it's not looking real good for us, guys.
Did you do your I haven't done my application yet. Have you
I
done
haven't.
yours?
It's on my to-do list to do like after we record, because I was gonna do it on Saturday, but I was like, let me wait for the weekday. But then that update came out. So I was just like, what does that mean? I didn't even know how to like process the information, because I'm like, does that apply to me or not? So that's what I'm trying to figure out for myself.
My friend has sent that in one of our group chats, and I was
Mhm.
like, honestly, like I guess I didn't read the fine print to begin with, because I didn't even know that private loans were even being considered to be included. Because from my
Mm,
experience of private loan companies, they don't care. They want their
right.
money, and so you have to pay them. And so I
Right.
just felt
Well,
like
that
they
was the
wouldn't even
excitement. That was the excitement, because I'm like, wow, because I know it's almost like, with private companies and public companies, like, is
yeah,
that same due diligence. So the fact that Biden was overstepping that, I thought that counted for something. Little did we know, it
little,
really like
yeah.
ain't shit. He's allowed to, like, he ain't about that life, really. So I'm
I'm
annoyed.
like, none of this serves me. Like,
It don't. And so it just seems like, yeah, I really have been playing with my emotions and continue to drag us on this.
drag, okay? Because wait, how many announcements they do about this 7? Like every
Yes,
time they
there's been a lot
extend
of
it,
and now the final pause is this December 31st. So starting January, you have to start paying your loans again, which I'm
not
glad for the
looking
pauses.
forward to
But
it.
again, the pauses have been going on. Like, that means, yeah, I've been good without this money coming in.
Right. And I will continue to say this. Why can't we just forgive up to a certain year of people and just like knock it all out and just like start fresh? Because at the end of the
Hmm.
day, like, how long have we been paying these loans? Like, we're like full
Yes.
on adults.
Right.
Like, how
And
long?
nobody's gonna chip away at them with this, what do you call it?
This like
The
forgiveness they trying to do, like make a
No, no,
dent, you
no.
mean?
Like, we're paying more than the principal because the
Oh yeah.
interest. Like, at least
Yeah.
make it zero interest, so that the payments that are being made actually are chipping away at
Hit
something.
yeah.
It's not doing any dent in the loan.
Nothing. Nothing.
So it's just like, you're not making sense. Make it
I'm
make
like,
sense.
student loans is always like a sour subject.
It
Every
is.
time
And
we
it
talk about
intervenes
it.
in so many people's lives. Like, so many, so many. This is like
Yeah.
worse than credit card debt at this point.
Well, yeah, because at least you can see your interest and control it better than student loans. Like student
Hmm.
loans, I mean, oftentimes it's such a large number that's super intimidating versus like credit
Yes.
cards are more manageable. I don't know.
Mhm. Yep, yep.
All right. Well, shifting gears, let's talk about some entertainment. So I did not see the BET Awards. It's literally on my DVR. I need to get to it, but
Me
you
too.
saw
I
it.
didn't want. No, I
No, you didn't see
didn't.
it?
No, but I did see the rollout, which reminded
Okay.
me about that even was happening yesterday, and I was
Okay.
like in tune with the rollout. So basically, BT did a roundup of influencers. You know that the BT Awards is super big on the
Yeah.
cipher. I
Love
personally
my favorite part.
Yes, it's like so good, and it focuses on like the rappers, like
Mhm.
the up and coming artists. But this year they took a little spin on it, and instead of taking the focus on the rappers, they did it on influencers, some who are rappers and some who just have like a message and a following. And so they allowed them to do like drop a hot 16. Remy Ma and Little Kim were the coaches to help like facilitate, which I thought was really
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they helped like get them together and like coach them for them to like spit their 16. So who were included were Dapper Don, which he didn't do a rap, but he did like a spoken word. It was really
Mm.
cool.
I love
Pinky Cole.
spoken word.
Yes, like he did it really cool. So definitely check those out. All the rollouts are on the BT's page.
Okay.
Pinky Cole, which she's the founder of Slutty Vegan. Cleo Trapper, which she is hilarious, like a comedian slash rapper. Regine Carter, which is Lil Wayne's daughter. Lala Milan, she is a clothing designer now. And yeah, so there was many of them. That's just a few, like the ones that stood out to me. But yeah, Remy Ma and Little Kim was definitely a part of it. And I thought it was like a cool spin. Like
Mhm.
the BT marketer who was behind this idea. She said, we leverage something that people love about the BT Awards to increase viewership. And I was looking at the comments, and not too many people were happy about it, which I didn't think that because before I look at the comments, I look at something from my own lens to have my own opinion. But
Right.
then I also look at the comments, and I do take into consideration certain points that were made. But I still don't think it was valid enough for me to be like, this shouldn't have been done, because people are saying like, the art of rap is the lyrics, and the lyrics is like how we shot, like straying away from the artist and using the influencer. But I feel like it also shows in which way the world's transitioning, where like things, there could be a duality
There
in
could be.
things.
And also, like, think about, I mean, regardless of anything else, like from a marketing standpoint, though, and you're trying to get that
Brilliant.
traction
Brilliant.
to tap into influencers, and even, and honestly, like a lot of people love, like a lot of people in their mind feel like, oh, if I could be a rapper, like, if I could spit some bars,
Yeah.
you're giving someone the opportunity to let's
Yeah.
try this. I don't
Yeah.
see why this is such a huge deal. Like, I get it, like you want to stick to the art, but I don't think that they're being offensive to it. I think that they're giving them an
They're
opportunity to like
honoring it.
be
Yeah.
included. I
Yes,
thought
and
that
paying
was cool.
homage. I
Yeah.
thought it was super dope. It was definitely something where like you have to have a real creativity to think about it in this
Yeah.
way. And I thought it was brilliant from a marketing standpoint. So that was executed wonderfully. And I'm just curious to know, and I hope that they will follow up in what the numbers were for viewership versus other years.
Yeah, that would be cool. And also,
Hmm.
like, for anyone who has seen the BET Awards or if even checked out this rollout, let us know your thoughts on what you thought. I
Hmm.
need to check it out. Haven't done it.
Yeah,
Guilty. And I
I'm gonna
also need
watch it.
to watch the BET Awards. Haven't done that
Yeah, I
either.
need to watch it, but I seen that like Fat Joe and Remy Ma performed. And there was, because there's always like this this thing with people coming to the BET Awards, or like it being a frowned upon. And I feel like it's definitely still, no matter what you want to think, it is part of the culture, you know?
It is. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I
It
be
should be
having my
watered down.
okay. I was like, I be having my feels about the award.
Yeah, we have to keep it all the way real. Like this didn't come from anywhere. Why people feel the way
Right.
they feel, and we be having our qualms toward BT, and how they be fucking, what's the word, like not jeopardizing us, but
They be doing the most, and the execution don't be great all the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I hear you. All right, cool, cool, cool. So shout out to BT, and we'll definitely check that out. But again, let
we
us know
will.
if you've seen it. We'd love to know your thoughts. Hit us up on social. Twitter is where we like to be too. So hit us up.
Yes,
All right, so we have to get into my favorite,
of
my
course,
favorite
because
girl. Okay.
Ayanna added this.
Yes. So we just want to shout out my girl, our girl, Rihanna.
It's just it's the introducing, like my girl, the one, the only.
Like, I just like, call me Rihanna, call me. Um, she announced, and it was a big deal, that she is the headlining the halftime show for Super Bowl 23. This will be the 57th Super Bowl, and it is taking place on February 12th in Arizona, I believe. And
It is.
so, thoughts about that? Let's talk about it. How do we feel about Rihanna headlining the halftime show?
Well, first of all, the internet fails to never lose, and the
The
memes,
Twitter me?
the, everything about how it's gonna be a makeup tutorial, how she's gonna come out with Fenty this, that how she was practicing to study her lyrics because she forgot them all. Like, yeah, had me in tears. Yeah, ain't shit. And I really wish I could see, because I know Rihanna be in these internet streets. I really would love to have
And I
seen
honestly,
her.
I feel like she was laughing at most of this.
Yes, of course she was. Or like, y'all play too much. Like, and she's gonna give us a hell of a show. Watch.
So,
I don't expect anything less.
yes. And so, okay, I'm a big Rihanna stan, and I'm nervous for her. Like, I'm really nervous because I
I
feel like there's a
mhm.
lot of pressure for
Pressure.
her to really show up. Like, it's been so five,
Right.
6 years since she's been out of the music game with her stuff,
Like,
and
people
and
gonna critique from head
oh,
to toe,
nitpick everything,
nitpick, yeah. Which is,
everything.
I feel like she's paid her dues, and like
100%.
she should.
I just want her to be great though. Like,
Yeah, I
it's like
want to
when
prove
you're
everybody wrong.
yeah, I want her to prove
Hmm.
I want her to shit on everybody.
Yes,
That's
yes,
how I really
absolutely.
want her to show up. And I also want to, I hope in my mind Rihanna listens to Non-Corporate Girls, but I really
Hmm.
want her to really think about who the guest appearances will be if that is a
Yes.
thing, because I
Hmm.
really want this to focus on her. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
really don't want anyone to take away from that. And so
Hmm.
Rihanna, just know that we support you. We know you're gonna kill it, but like this is your moment. So like I want you to be in all the glory. Okay,
Yes, and
that's
book us. We'll introduce you. Like we'll be the announcers to
yes, that's
introduce
so
you.
perfect.
So please, team, reach out to us. We're available in February.
Okay, I'm available whenever. It doesn't
For
matter.
you, for you, I am available.
Doesn't matter. And also, like, this is about to be a great month for her because it's also her birthday in February. So, I mean, Rihanna, you
Yes.
got to show out, girl. So, I'm
Okay.
excited.
And it's a big birthday. 35 is big.
35 is big. All right, cool. So, that was all. Love the entertainment. That was
Yeah.
all on off the record. Moving into hashtag obsessed with. So this is still entertainment too, though, because
Mhm.
well, our hashtag obsessed with is Keke Palmer. For those of you who are Keke fans, and me and Delaila were talking about her because I don't know. Well, I'm sure everybody heard that she started Key TV, which is
Mhm.
going to be her new like digital media platform. But like
Mhm.
Kiki's growth though has been really
Yes.
cool to see, right?
Yes, from Akila. I mean, Akila and the Bee, she was a little bit older, but
I
like
can't let
little
it be.
Akila is
I
growing up.
know.
I love Akila and the Bee.
I do too. But it's like she's been around, right? And it's
Yes,
like you don't even it's like it's
relevant,
crazy.
relevant,
Yeah.
always.
But also I think in the past couple of years, she's really like, I don't know if assertive herself is the right word, but she's really like
Yes,
found her footing. She's really
yes,
been
yes,
like, I
yes.
am here to stay.
Okay, and I
Doesn't
have
matter
a
what y'all
place
think.
here. Yes, I have a place here. I have something to offer, and I feel I don't know, I feel like I relate to Kiki in the sense that
Hmm.
she makes it feel like so attainable. Like she's an actress and a star, and I would consider her A-list, but she just seems so approachable that you almost forget like she has paid her dues in the entertainment field or whatever. But like she's
100%.
always
Like her hustle is real.
her hustle is real, but I think equally what makes her just like humanized is she really speaks about her struggles and her
Hmm.
downfalls and her challenges. Like she chats on the internet like if she's talking to her homegirls. Like she's dealt with insecurities because she does deal with adult acne.
Yeah.
She speaks about her relationships and guys she's dated and how it didn't work out. And we're close in age, so she's from our generation, so she's
Hmm.
kind of dealt with the same like internet and social media as we
Hmm.
have, in the same way where it wasn't in our life when we were younger, but then we kind of grew up with having the
Right, right.
internet. So she's from like that same time period, and it's just been cool to relate to her in that sense.
100%. And I tell you, like, when like, I wouldn't say like like, I think Kiki's cool, but like, like, I like her, but, I don't like follow everything she does. But
Mm.
what really changed something for me was I'm a diehard Legendary fan. For anyone that watches
Mm.
Legendary on HBO, and I always love their guests. I mean, they're like judges. Their judges are so
Mhm.
cool. And I always like to see the different interactions. When
Right.
Kiki was announced for season 2 or 3, can't remember at this point, but when she was announced for this past season, I just like at first I was like, Kiki, okay, this is interesting. Let me
I
see
I
this.
would think she's so fitting for that. I would
So
think.
I thought so too, but like because I don't
So
follow her as off like
okay.
as closely. I just wasn't sure how the personality would translate with the show. But when I tell
Mm.
you she is my favorite judge, she's my favorite judge. Like
Is that
I
she's like out there and like expressive, and she gives
and
me like a
she's
cat 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 cat.
honest, but she's also honest and she's
Yeah.
constructive and she's like
Yes.
she's an adult. Like I don't know, it just
Yes.
feels like I don't know. I believe her. I believe what
Mm.
she says. You know what I mean? I
Yes.
really love her on that show. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I like Kiki.
I
So
like her
I'm
as a
hyped for
person.
her.
Like, yeah, I like her as
Yeah.
a person. Like, she has a lot of self-awareness,
Yes.
and I don't know, it's just her girl. Like, she gives me like she went to therapy, like, and
Okay,
has
because
had
we
to.
can tell.
Yes, because there's just a certain way you show up, and like how you don't let people knock you down. And she's felt
Yes.
like knocked down, but like she still
Oh,
shows up. I like
I
her a
love
lot.
this glow up for her, and I was telling
Mhm.
Delight, she's trying to be like the young Oprah, like she trying to out here
Yes.
start her own thing in this like magnitude, and I think it's so cool to see. So
Yep.
shout out to Keke Palmer.
Yes, and what's for me, for Kiki, like something that I feel like goes with her is she's like the epitome of slow and steady wins the race,
Oh yeah,
because her
100%.
success has come over time. Like, again,
It's been a slow
yes, but it's
evolution.
steady in that
Mhm.
it's things that make sense and things
Mhm.
that stand the test of time, because the projects that she's in are very like intentional. Like, she's
Facts.
not in all the things, but in the things that she has been a part of have like made so much like impact.
I think she's dope. And so Kiki, if
Mhm.
you listen to Non-Corporate Girls, because in my mind everybody does,
Mhm. They
hit
do.
us up, book us.
Yes, we're gonna do a partnership with Key TV. I can totally see us a
I
part of
would
that.
love that. I would love that.
Mhm.
All right. So we are now in Let's Talk About It. And
Yes.
I know we're flying through, right? We're in Let's Talk
Yeah.
About It. And so I had shared recently with Delaila and like a couple of people this photographer's Instagram. His name is Darius Bashar. And he is doing this initiative around taking photos of strangers. It's like taking photos of strangers project. And I think it's on Instagram and TikTok. And first of all, I always love like the street things, and I always wonder
Mhm.
why I don't never see nobody in the street that asks me to do nothing, because I want to do something, but that's neither here nor there.
I wanna be on your NYC so bad.
Yo, like why don't nobody ask me that? I be looking, nobody touch
I
me.
don't be outside. They're not gonna find me. I'm not walking the streets, so that's exactly why I'm not on anything.
There's that too. There's that too. I mean, they can't find me in my apartment, so you know.
Exactly. Like, hello. Maybe you need to go
Um,
outside.
I do need to go outside. But what I loved about his situation is that at the end of his little mini shoot, he asks everyone a question. And so we thought this would be a really great let's talk about a question, because it's something that I'm sure we all think about and reflect on, but maybe someone just hasn't asked you. So the
Mhm.
question that he asks everyone after he does his little mini shoot is, if you could send one question back to your younger self, what advice would you give? And I thought that was a very powerful question, because when you go through his portfolio and look,
Mhm.
hearing everyone's answers gave me chills. I'm like, oh my
Oh, I
gosh.
need to see that part because I
You
didn't see
need
that part.
it's so good. So I'm gonna ask also we asked episode 108. I can't remember.
Mhm.
We asked Skittles the same question, and obviously we loved his response as well. So Delilah, I'm about
Mhm.
to ask you, if you could give one question back to your younger self, what advice would you give?
So, correct me if I'm wrong. Am I asking myself the question as a young child, or I'm giving advice to
Giving
myself?
advice.
Giving advice. Um, if I had to give advice, I would say to be brave, and to stick it out. It's gonna be
Ooh,
hard, but you're gonna get through it.
I love that.
Be
See, it's
brave.
like the goosebumps.
Yeah,
It's
because we're operating in fear and stuff as an adult, and you know how kids are such fearless beings and they don't
I
think of
know.
consequence or repercussion, they just do. I really try to think, and it's their lack of awareness because they don't know. So it's like harder as adults because we do know better, but somehow, some way, I wish I can tap into that fearlessness and be brave and just do and not think of whatever the repercussion is, because I'll fall exactly where I need to be at.
I love that, and I echo that. I also would love to be able to continuously tap into that, because and it's funny, I was telling my therapist this too, like, it's something different that, like, now as an adult, I have so much more anxiety around just a lot of different things, like even being
Mhm.
on this podcast. But as a
Mhm.
child, or even as a teenager, I didn't have any of those things. You know, like, yeah, you would get nervous
Mhm.
about to perform in a dance thing, whatever, but then you just
Right.
do it and it's all right,
Mhm.
and then you forget about it. Like, it's not even a thought.
Yes.
Whereas
Like,
now it's
now
like a
things
constant.
linger. It lingers for
Yeah,
so
it's
why?
because we're adults and we have a lot more to lose. That's what
I guess that's
in
what
our
it is.
minds. In our
Yes.
minds.
That's
Yeah,
so
I love
interesting.
that.
To be a
I
kid
know.
again is really magical. As long as you can stay there, stay. Like, I really
Yeah,
advise, like, my younger family members, like, don't rush this
don't
phase. Like,
rush
it's
it.
so good here. Like, it's so good. It seems crappy because they want to do whatever they want to do. And shout out to one of my close friends, Iso, and I send you so much love because she's just going through a hiccup. She's raising 4 young men by herself, a single mom, and
Sure.
4 young boys. And it's challenging, and I'm just a listening ear when I can't offer much advice in the sense of parenting because I'm not a mom, but she's just doing an amazing job. And I know it gets tough because kids will test your being. But
Yeah,
all of that to say, try to stay in your childhoodness
yeah,
for as long as possible. And yeah,
I
to be
agree.
a kid
I
again.
agree. I
Hmm.
wish, because adulting, I don't even know. It's ghetto.
0 out of 10, one fucking star. Would not recommend.
That part. Um, okay, so mine would be, and I've been thinking a lot about this and I keep changing it, but I think the biggest thing I would say to my younger self, like the advice I would give would be to always bet on you. And the
Mm.
reason I say that is because I think that growing up, going back to this whole like insecurity and not having insecurity as
Mhm.
you get or whatever, I feel like growing up, I spent a lot of time looking for validation from other people to bet on me, to push me
Ooh.
forward, to do these things. And I
Mhm.
realized that when I started doing that for myself, it just really changed my mindset and how I
Right.
wanted to show up and also what I could offer. Like, this is who
Mm.
I am, and I just think that people will count you out always. They will always count you out because there's always going to be someone better in their eyes. There's always going to be this. But
Mhm.
if you bet on yourself, like, you will always go
Absolutely.
far. And so that's what I would
Mhm.
tell my younger self.
I love that. And let me just remind you that most of the times, because I am a big believer of the people who count you out or try to, because they never really do.
Right.
They're definitely insecure. They feel
Mhm.
challenged by you, and it's always something between opportunity and vanity of why they
Mhm.
went with something else.
Right. Right. Agreed. So, I love
And they're
that. And
lost.
okay,
Mhm.
always. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
telling you, like, okay, so it's twofold, right? Yes, as an adult, I do feel more anxiety with doing a lot of different things, but then
Mhm.
I also am very, very clear about my worth on top
Oh,
of that.
let's talk about it.
Right? And
Yes.
I'm like, we talk about this all the time that
Mhm.
we're amazing and dope. People just need to catch up. So catch up.
Okay. Because let me tell you, there has not been a single person that has not doubled back and try to spin the block again after dropping the ball. So
Okay.
don't be
Okay.
that person.
Don't be that
Learn from
person.
them.
Okay. Take these L's.
Okay. Okay.
So we want to ask you all, and maybe this is a question that we'll throw on social because this is probably a good
Yes,
question.
it is.
What advice would you give your younger self if you could give them one thing that you want to tell your younger
Mhm.
self? What would it be? Slide into our comments, hit us up on Twitter, let us know because we want to hear from you, and maybe we'll throw something on Instagram too.
Yes, we will. It's been always like a pleasure. In the beginning of like about to record, I'd be like low key dreading it, but not because I don't want to record. It's just like it's a feeling. I don't know. And then I'd be so happy after we record and like how the conversation flows and everything. It's just I think a nitpicky thing of like is it all gonna work? Am I gonna know what I want to say? Are my thoughts all here and clear?
I
But
feel like
yeah.
we always go through this. I really feel like, and also part of it too is because we do so much. Like, if
Hmm.
we just had a team and we was walking in where things were set up, we
Right.
could just
Right.
flow.
Yo, but sis, you are a team of 5 by yourself
You know?
because Ayanna be gathering my little neck, like gather, gather. Okay, I don't know what I would do without you. So,
I
giving you
try.
your flowers, queen.
Thank you. I love you. I heart you, and giving you yours as well, because non-corporate is not a solo mission. So there's
It's
that.
not. It's not. We're trying to rally up a team, actually. So
Reach out.
we're waiting for you.
I can't stand us, but I love us at the same time. All right.
Yes.
On that note, we are so out. It's been great. Until next time.
Bye.